Welcome to video 4 of our Authentic Conversations. In part 1, we will hear how the young people cope with pressures from their wider community and from social media. The second part stresses the value of developing a strong Christian faith in order to manage effective relationships. We hope this video will both inspire and encourage you on your own journey of faith. How do wider community and social media pressures affect your closest relationships?
I'm huge with social media, especially Instagram and Facebook. I use them a lot. And you have to remind yourself, and this is what I tell people all the time, my friends and stuff, social media is fake. None of it is real. What you see is not actually what's really going on.
So I think social media plays a big role on how I think a lot of my generation view relationships, because every day when we go on and we scroll, we see supposedly perfect families, we see perfect like holidays and events and family life, and we think, well, we need to have that. And it's so easy to compare yourself to others because you look at their life and you think, well, I don't have that, how can I get that?
I still find myself that I am absorbed into the lives that are created on, for example, Instagram. So, you know, I do like home pages on Instagram, believe it or not. So these are individuals who set up pages of their home. So not only can I be fascinated in people, I can be fascinated in people's lifestyle, how they live, what lampshades in the front room, to, you know, what rug they've got down in the kitchen, to what type of quotes they've got on their island.
I'm definitely influenced by pretty much everyone at work, because I'm constantly thinking about how I can get on with them and make them like me, to be completely honest. And that can be quite hard and tiring sometimes.
Kind of your mind can trick you into thinking that you need to have these things because you've seen them on social media. And, you know, it can be the same with anything like weddings, you know, they're so extravagant. Well, I guess it's how they're portrayed, isn't it, on social media?
Although I am fully invested in people's lives on social media, there's a part of me that does actually feel like I am aware of what people do on social media, the things they get paid for, you know, the things that they broadcast, or their sort of, you know, marketing, for example. So I feel like I am aware of that, but it still doesn't stop me from looking.
You've got contact with everyone, you're seeing everything, everyone's putting their life out there, and like you have to be part of it, or you just get cut out.
Social media itself is obviously platforms that broadcast unrealistic scenarios, which then only creates unrealistic expectations.
It can have negative impacts, so you could be looking at a story of someone on their socials of how they are doing and what they are going through, but then afterwards you could be thinking about that person's having a really good time on holiday, or they've got the latest iPhone, and makes you think that you want that item or you want that holiday, and makes you think that their life is better than yours, and that can be very challenging.
There is a pressure, like I really dislike social media, like I really dislike it. I wish it wasn't there. I wasn't on it, but everyone I know is on there, and they're all sharing their lives, and you want to be a part, because you have it. I spend far too much time on there, far too much.
The reason I'm not on social media anymore is because it affected relationships too much. I think at a base level, I found that I was spending far less time with my wife and my son as I could have been doing, because I'd just be sat on my phone, distracted by something, doom scrolling until who knows what time at night, because it's just addictive. I think wider than that as well, I've struggled with social anxiety for the last 10 years or so, and I think social media was a real driver of that, and it's because I really care what people think about me.
Knowing people, they really bullied themselves over like their appearance, because they've seen this model who's, you know, she's probably got an edited body, you know, she's getting all the sponsorships that it's the life she wished she was living, and she's not, and then they really bully themselves over it.
I know for some people the social media is more comparing themselves to others. I always just felt that I had real pressure on me to present who I was in a particular way, whether that was through talents or even just putting on a really good quality photograph or showing off family, whatever it might be. I always had good friends, but I've definitely seen a temptation to just want to be the most popular person and I'm very aware of who's popular in different spheres. So I'll tag on to different people and try and develop and drive certain relationships. And that's really hard because I know that the root of that is just wanting to be liked and to be seen as popular myself.
So social media less so, 'cause I'm not really on it. No one was liking my posts, so I just stopped using it. But I think definitely community does impact me. I think at work particularly, there are definitely some people like at work who I know I'm never going to be friends with them. They're just too different. We rub each other up the wrong way. And I think I'm okay with that because there are lots of people in the world and you don't have to get on with all of them, but you do have to get along with. You don't have to be best friends with everyone, but you do have to get along with everyone.
I can definitely see the benefits of not being on it, and you just watch videos or read things, see posts, and it's not about anyone that you know particularly well. It's not about anything that you particularly care about, and yet you're prioritising it over all these different relationships. Whilst that's hard, and I guess it's like any addiction, is that it takes time to kind of work that through, and there'll be temptations to be pulled back. I'm hoping that this is kind of like the beginning of the end in terms of social media for me.
What are the benefits of having a strong Christian faith in managing effective relationships? 3 themes have emerged from the conversations in video 4. Firstly, the importance of the community of believers. Secondly, forgiveness. And thirdly, prayer.
When I think of Jesus, I see how he so clearly valued friendship. You know, the fact he had his 12 disciples around him all the time and he wouldn't go anywhere without them, and he was so close with a couple of them. And
I am a Catholic and I do work at a Christian school and I do try and go to church when I can. I do believe in God and I do believe that God is always watching down on me and that everything happens for a reason, and I am a big believer that God is in charge of my life and decides what he wants to happen for me. I do think that everything happens for a reason.
I have been able to create a group on social media with different churches across the world where we've been able to build each other up through Bible verses and songs and being able to share how God's working in our life. And that's been a very encouraging thing to do because it means that we can build relationships with each other and get to know each other.
So I feel really blessed because I actually have a group of 3 other women that I meet up with every month or so, and we discuss our lives, we talk about the bits that are good, the bits that are bad.
I think the biggest one is about staying grounded. So I feel that the Christian faith reminds me of who I am and all the good things about me.
As the Bible tells us to turn a cheek, I find forgiving to be one of my best qualities.
The big word that comes to me is forgiveness. I think that's huge in terms of being a Christian and knowing that I'm forgiven and can have complete forgiveness. I think that really helps in my relationships.
The biggest one for me, as I've mentioned before, is definitely forgiveness.
I've made so many mistakes in my life, but I know I'm forgiven. So when I've been wronged, I need to forgive other people and hope that they'll forgive me back as well. I think that's such an important foundation in relationships.
When you have faith and you learn to forgive, okay, you might still think, oh, that happened, but it doesn't matter because you've moved on and you found a better space.
I've definitely learned more to take a step back and go, you know what, I was completely wrong there. I can be quite stubborn, but I'm learning to go and reflect and think, actually, no, I need to go and apologise for that, and know that that actually has an impact. It's not just a platitude. I'm not just saying sorry to kind of move on. It's a genuine, I've made a mistake and let's work it through together. And I think that's really helpful with friendships.
I don't pray as much as I'd like to. And there's times where like I feel like I really need prayer, and I really want to pray, and then I feel like selfish asking God to help the people in my life.
Being a Christian really made us do that, made us intentionally meet up to chat through life, to pray together. And I think if I wasn't a Christian, I wouldn't have a forum to do that. It would feel formal, it would feel kind of not organic.
I think prayer is good because I think even with forgiveness as well, is that when I pray, I feel like I've got it off my chest, and and one thing I've been building on is my relationship with God, and I know that I can talk to him and I can get it off my chest and I can move on from it.